Hi, welcome back to 5 is Prime. In today's video, I am going to teach you how to add mixed numbers with unlike denominators. So a quick vocab review of what mixed numbers are. We have a fraction here, and it has this bigger number right next to it, and this is what we call a mixed number. The 2 is the whole number, and the 3 is the numerator and the 4 is the denominator. So this is a fraction and a whole number put together. And I'm going to show you on this model down here what that would look like. So I've got two circles here. I have a 2 for a whole number, so I'm going to fill that in. I've got 2 wholes. And then on my fraction piece, I've got a denominator of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 pieces, and my numerator tells me that I need to fill in 3 of these pieces. So this would be a model to represent this mixed number, 2 wholes and then additional 3/4. All right, let's get into an example. Here I have 2 3/4 plus 1 1/5. I notice that my denominators are not the same. They're unlike denominators. So that is something I'll need to fix before I can start adding. So I'm going to follow the same process. Adding mixed numbers is just like adding fractions. You've just got an extra number to work with, but it's really quite straightforward. So, all right, I have identified that 20 is going to be my least common denominator. I'm going to put that right above in a bubble so I know what I'm working towards. And now I need to make those equivalent fractions. So 4 times what equals 20? And I know that 4 times 5 equals 20. And 5 times what equals 20? And I know that 5 times 4 equals 20. All right, I've got my multipliers for each of my fractions, and now I need to multiply. So 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5 is 20. I'm still adding. 1 times 4 is 4. And 5 times 4 is 20. Now we come across the whole number. So my whole number 2 and my whole number 1. I cannot multiply those. I'm not going to multiply those by my 5 and my 4. I'm just going to copy them down. If I were to multiply them, I would suddenly have 10 and 15/20 plus 4 and 4/20, which is not the same problem. So just remember to leave the whole numbers alone when you're adding or subtracting mixed numbers and you're finding common denominators. All right, once we got to this point, we can just go ahead and add. So 15 plus 4 is 19, and my denominator is staying the same just like it did before. And then 2 plus 1 is 3. So my answer is 3 and 19/20. All right, I've got another one here. So first things first, I'm going to find common denominators. So I've got 6 and 3. 3 has 3, 6, 9, and 6. I already know it's going to be 6. I see them in both sets. So 6 is going to be my least common denominator. I kind of lucked out here. My entire mixed number here can just be copied down. I would just be multiplying it by 1 because my 6 is already a 6. All right, on this other side, 3 times 2 equals 6. So I'm going to multiply my 1/3 times 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And then I just copy my whole number down. And then I can add. 1 plus 2 is 3. My 6 is still staying the same. 1 6 plus 2 6 is 3 6. And then I just add my whole number. 1 plus 3 is 4. All right, and I've got one more example before some practice problems. I've got 2 and 3. 2, 4, 6, 8, 3, 6, 9, 12. First step is always finding that common denominator. We're using 6 again, And then I got to figure out what my multiplier is going to be for each fraction. 2 times what equals 6, and 3 times what equals 6. I know that 2 times 3 equals 6, so 3 times 2 must equal 6. Now 2 times 3, and 3 times 2. All right. I can multiply to find my equivalent fraction. 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 2 is 6. Copy those whole numbers down, and you're good to add. I have 3 6 plus 4 sixths equals 7 sixths, and 2 plus 3 is 5. Now 5 and 7 sixths is actually an improper fraction because my numerator is larger than my denominator, so I'm going to simplify that to 6 and 1/6. That is my very best answer I could give. All right, so if you would like some more insight on what I'm doing here, it's called simplifying fractions. I have a separate video on that. It's called simplifying fractions. So if you are someone that wants a deeper understanding of what you're doing when you're doing that, I would highly suggest watching that video. All right, I've got some practice problems down here. I've only got 2 here, but I've got a list of things to kind of keep you on track of what you're doing. So the first step would be find LCD. That's when we skip count everything out. Multiply to make equivalent fractions with like denominators, and then just adding to find the sum. So go ahead and hit pause, solve these on your own, and then come back and see if your work matches mine, see if you got the right answer. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I see 5 and 6, so I need to find my least common denominator. And my least common denominator is going to be 30. All right, 5 times 6 equals 30, and 6 times 5 equals 30. I need to find my equivalent fraction, so 3 times 6 is 18, 5 times 6 is 30, 2 times 5 is 10, and 6 times 5 is 30. You can go ahead and copy down those whole numbers. We don't want to multiply those, and then we can just add. So I've got 5 and 28 thirtieths, or 14 15ths. Again, if you want a little more insight on how to simplify fractions, go ahead and find that video to help you understand that whole concept. All right, I'm going to move this over. We've got 1 1/2 plus 2 3/8. My common denominator I know is going to be 8, because I know that 2 times 4 equals 8. So 2 times 4. I'm just going to multiply this other fraction by 1 because it already has an 8 in the denominator. 1 times 4 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. My whole number is a 1. Going to copy that down, and then I'm good to add. 4/8 plus 3/8 is 7/8. Stick my whole number on there. 1 plus 2 is 3, and there is my answer. All right, and that is it on how to add fractions with unlike denominators. I hope that this was helpful for you. If you feel ready, you can either move on to that simplifying fractions video or subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. I'll see you in the next one.